We got something new here. We traded off the 94 GL 1500 and we picked up this 30th anniversary, well, because it's 2005, obviously, a 30th anniversary edition GL 1800. Got a couple nice things on it I liked. We're still in the process of kind of going through it and figuring out what I need to do to it. Some of you have been with us since the beginning. You knew the 1500 was geezer. Well, we're going to make this plain and simple. It's geezer too. Quick and easy. And honestly, got the color I like too. So, red is good. Go big red.
So 2019 started off with a great deal of excitement with the purchase of a new to me motorcycle. Let's take a look back at how the rest of the year went. Hello everyone, Richard here from SoDak Motorcycle Blog, here with the end of the year holiday / Christmas / whatever holiday you celebrate special. As you can see, we do not have a Christmas tree up or anything like that, and the reason for that is because, well, we have 2 cats. And for those of you who have had Christmas decoration with cats, you know that, well, those 2 things should never be mixed. We learned our lesson over a decade ago, so pretty much we just kind of deal with it, and it's easier to not have decorations and be up all night with cats chasing ornaments. So it was a little bit of an adventure to get to that motorcycle. I actually found it at a place called Central Nebraska Wings and Things. It's a little tiny shop in Little Clarks, Nebraska, which is a little tiny town of I think maybe about 400 people or so. And it's between Grand Island and Columbus, Nebraska on US Highway 30. And it's about a 7-hour drive from here. And honestly, as long as deals, like I said, I'd found it on a search on Cycle Trader, which is a very good resource I would use when you're looking for a different motorcycle. Found it on there. Sent a few emails back and forth between me and the owner. And they gave me what I thought was a really good deal on my 94 GL 1500 that I had, so I figured, well, let's go for it. So a day of leave, 900 miles round trip, a night in Grand Island that I paid for with hotel points, a board wife, a 94 GL 1500, and also about $5,000 later, and once again I had myself a not brand new, but a new to me motorcycle. And it was a very good purchase, I think. So once again, going back to Central Nebraska Wings and Things, this is a good place to go purchase a bike, especially if you're looking for, well, like Gold Wings. They have a lot of Gold Wings. That's kind of one of their specialties. Obviously the name Central Nebraska Wings and Things. Additionally, they do a lot of work with trike kits. California Sidecar is the preferred kit they use. A lot of people go there and they'll purchase their motorcycle, and then they'll go pick out the trike kit they want on their bike, and then it'll get triked out and they'll pick it up a few months later. And if you're in, obviously, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Wyoming, Colorado even, South Dakota, Minnesota, any of those places, I would definitely give these guys a look because they're definitely worth the drive. Like I said, it's about a 7-hour trip one way for me to get there. And honestly, I think it was worth every penny. They gave me $1,000 over what local dealerships here were going to give me for my trade. They're very easy to work with. They don't have a lot of that other junk that you got to deal with dealing with the dealership. It's pretty simply, you show up, they tell you how much they're going to give you for the bike, and honestly they do that via email pretty good. And you show up with the bike, they check it out, you check out what you want, and it's a handshake deal, and you sign paperwork and give them a check, and you're good to go. Like a really easy, straightforward process. So if you're in one of those areas, you're looking for a get a motorcycle without all the usual fun and games that you got to deal with at other places, I would definitely give Central Nebraska Wings and Things a look. And I'm not saying that because they're paying me to say that. I'm saying that because I like to steer people towards places that do very good job and do good business. And these guys are definitely one of them. So I definitely say they are SoDak Motorcycle Blog approved. So obviously when I got this bike in January, I figured, well, it's going to be a little bit before I get to ride it. Well, it was only a few short weeks later, I managed to get a nice warm day in February to go take it out for a first really good ride. And here's how it looked like. The other thing you notice about it is when you get on the highway, and you can just give it the gusto so easily. With minimal effort. That's pretty sweet. Because it's 57 degrees and it's the 2nd of February. And I'm in Black Hills, South Dakota. And generally around here it doesn't get that warm this time of year. What a good day for a ride. God, you cannot beat this time of year. Oh, before you get too jealous though, don't worry, it's going to be like 7 degrees for a high on Monday again, so we're just getting a quick break from the cold. Now we've been lucky, we haven't got the super cold they got further east. So those words were some very famous last words. Once we got done with that and that cold air moved in, it was here from February through March. There's that really super dark blue blotch that stands for really below normal temperatures. Pretty much it almost was bullseyed right over us for them whole 2 months. It seemed like just nonstop, just persistence, really a lot of bad cold. I mean, there was just it was cold, and then we got the bomb cyclone in March. It dumped a bunch of snow here on us, but other parts of the state on the eastern side got hit with a bunch of rain. Nebraska got hit especially hard with the flooding. Obviously, I'm sure you've obviously heard about that. All the flooding in the upper Midwest all this spring, and honestly, for us around here, it kind of just kept up throughout the whole summer. You'd get an inch here, an inch the next day, 2 days no rain, and you get 3 inches, and then a few more days, and then you'd get 8 inches, and everything would flood. And it was almost kind of on a repeat cycle pretty much the whole summer. So it was just kind of a really wet, lot of rain, just crazy summer with the weather, and I guess that's just kind of how it is. Now, with all that being said, we did manage to get a good amount of riding in. According to my odometer, we come up with 9,211 miles. If you adjust that for the speedometer error I have on my bike, it came up about 8,700 miles. So obviously it was a really, really good year for riding. And honestly, the way it started out and with all the weather the way it was, I couldn't have asked for much more this summer. Now obviously I didn't get over 10,000 like I did last year, but once again, I actually got some good miles in, so I'm happy with that. Speaking of all those miles, let's take a look back at some of those miles right now. Well, today is a pretty sweet day. And it's pretty sweet because this is the first ride of the 2019 riding season.
This is a cool little stretch here. And to me, it's better, obviously, than 16, because 16 is kind of the main highway. And it gets a little busy on 16. This is a good little cut across. Cuts you to Keystone, cuts you to Hill City. And obviously, it's the hills, so there's good scenery around here. This first stretch here is probably more of your stereotypical canyon part. And it's signed that way. It's a 35-mile-per-hour speed limit. It's a lot tighter on the curves. Like I said, it's a pretty fun little stretch. Actually, some history on this road is a county road. It used to be this road. This road used to be not paved. I think it's about maybe, it might be almost 20 years now since it was paved. So, kind of open up a hidden gem. Well, good morning. Richard here for the SoDak Motorcycle Blog, July 4th, 5:24 in the morning. Starting our first day of our 4th of July Colorado trip. As you can see, I have a real knack for picking weather to leave it. You can't really tell in there, but it's really like foggy, and it rained like crazy last night. So, you know, I think the last 5 years, every trip I've taken pretty much has started like this with fog. You know, I can't control that.
So coming up in 2020 here, I think this is going to be a big year for me. I got some big things planned. Probably the biggest thing I have planned is I'm going to attempt to complete an iron butt ride this year. I'm probably going to do the Saddle Sore 1000, which is 1,000 miles in 24 hours. Now they also do the 1,500 miles in 36 hours. I may still do that. I'm kind of thinking leaning on the 1,000 though. So that's kind of where I'm starting at this point. I haven't settled on a final route or even a destination. I got a few in mind. And honestly, if you got some tips or advice or some destinations to give me, why don't you go ahead and just put those down in the comments below and I'll take a look at that. Now please remember, I do live in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I fully intend to start the trip here. I don't want to ride 500 miles to start this thing. Once I leave the gas station 2 miles down the road, it's go time. Like, we're putting down miles from that point on. So please keep that in mind when you're suggesting things to me. Also, I have one more special surprise for 2020, and we're probably going to get into that here in the next few weeks. So keep that in mind. It does have something to do with the 80th anniversary of the Sturgis Rally. So be looking for that. So that puts a wrap on 2019 for the SoDak Motorcycle Blog. For one final time in 2019, make sure to keep the rubber side down and enjoy the ride. Happy holidays, and we'll see you in 2020. Thank you.